Together we're ready, shining bright. Behind the agenda, plans in our hands, exploring the progress where every voice stands. From the ground impact to the oil and gas scene, together we'll build a future strong and keen. We'll dive into the data, the numbers don't lie, examining the challenges, reaching for the sky. Education, infrastructure, let's pave the way. With fiscal responsibility, we'll seize the day. Behind the agenda, plans in our hands, exploring the progress where every voice stands. From the ground impact to the oil and gas scene, together we'll build a future strong and keen. Whoa, tune in every Wednesday, feel the vibe. For the stories and insights that we all prescribe. Plans, policies, and progress we'll uncover. With every discussion, let's support one another. Behind the agenda, plans in our hands, exploring the progress where every voice stands. From the ground impact to the oil and gas scene, together we'll build a future strong and keen. To the data, the numbers don't lie, examining the challenges, reaching for the sky. Education, infrastructure, let's pave the way. With fiscal responsibility, we'll seize the day. Behind the agenda, plans in our hands, plans in our hands, progress where every voice stands. In the progress, from the ground impact to the oil and gas scene. Together we'll build a future strong and keen. Strong and keen. Tune in every Wednesday, feel the diversity, stories and insights that we all prescribe. Plans, policies, and progress. Diversity and discussion, let's support one another. In the heart of our nation, where voices collide, where...
This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races. 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey. Guyana is nice, Guyana is fun, Guyana is clean, Guyana is green, Guyana got oil, Guyana got gold, Guyana got young and Guyana got old. I ain't talking no more. Guyana got things, we growing wings and developing things. The government real and that's a big deal. I'm singing from my heart, Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil to one Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I... This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil to one Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey, hey, Guyana is nice, Guyana is fun, Guyana is clean, Guyana is green, Guyana got oil, Guyana got gold, Guyana got young and Guyana got old. I ain't talking no more. Guyana got things, we growing wings and developing things. The government real and that's a big deal. I'm singing from my heart, Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil to one Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I...
In the heart of our nation, where voices collide, we're breaking down the policies with truth as our guide. With clarity on the mic, bringing light to the fight. Together we're ready, shining bright. Behind the agenda, plans in our hands, exploring the progress where every voice stands. From the ground impact to the oil and gas sea, together we'll build a future strong and keen. We'll dive into the data, the numbers don't lie. Examining the challenges, reaching for the sky. Education, infrastructure, let's pave the way. With fiscal responsibility, we'll seize the day. Behind let's support one another. Behind the agenda, plans in our hands, exploring the progress where every voice stands. From the ground impact to the oil and gas sea, together we'll build a future strong and keen. To the data, the numbers don't lie. Examining the challenges, reaching for the sky. Education, infrastructure, let's pave the way. With fiscal responsibility, we'll seize the day. Behind the agenda, plans in our hands, plans in our progress, where every voice.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Agenda. We have been missing for some time. However, it was only to be better able to bring these episodes to you. We're happy to be back here with you this evening, myself and Joel. And as usual, it will be a very packed program. So, welcome to another episode of Behind the Agenda, Plans, Policies, and Progress with yours truly, Cordell Jones. And tonight we're going to be tackling some of the biggest political and economic issues dominating the national conversation, Budget 2025. Now, the opposition has been making some misleading criticisms, and we'll be checking on what facts every Guyanese should know. Now, last week, Vincent Adams took offense to when Vice President Dr. Barry Jadjo dismissed his tenure at the U.S. Department of Energy as being in charge of sewage pipes. Now, Vincent, of course, went on to write an entire letter about his qualifications. But the real issue here is not his resume, it's his record. We are going to be comparing the EPA permit that he signed versus the permit under his successor. And trust me, the differences speak volumes about his credibility on environmental policy. Then there's the budget. The opposition has been loud, very loud, but not necessarily accurate. We've heard criticisms and claims by MP Jerita Finance, which says the debt burden per household has skyrocketed. Too much is being spent on infrastructure and poverty isn't being addressed. But what do the actual numbers say? Tonight, we dissect the budget line by line and show exactly how this budget is transforming lives in real and tangible ways. And let's not forget the gas energy project. Nigel Hughes continues to call for feasibility studies, but our guest, economic and financial analyst Joel Bagwedin, has pointed out these studies are already in the public domain. So why is the opposition pretending they don't exist? We break down the facts and expose the political playbooks at work on this episode. It's a packed show tonight, and as always, we'll cut through the noise and bring you the reality behind the rhetoric. Join me in welcoming on screen our guest, as usual, none other than Joel Bagwedin. Joel, good evening to you. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, Cardell. Good evening to your viewers. Thank you for having me here. I must say, Cardell, I'm very impressed. You've made some investments for the new year. You've upgraded. You look ready. You look ready for the war, boy. You're ready. You're ready to fight.
This year may be a serious one. So, we got that. Yeah. Now, let's jump right into it. Vincent Adams versus the EPA permit debate. Now, recently, Vincent Adams responded to the VP's comments about his tenure at the U.S. Department of Energy. Now, we know what the vice president said. Why do you think Adams felt the need to defend himself so strongly?
Well, the vice president, when he took a job at our dear friend Vincent Adams, and he talked about his sewage pipe, he was actually referring to one of my, I believe he was referring to one of my Facebook posts. As you may recall,
So you caused the problem.
I posted the sewage pipe export, right? Because when you check the Mahan record, he was the pipe the projects that he claimed that he was in charge of.
Mm,
It was really a sewage pipe. And another thing, another project he said that he was in charge of, which was the decommissioning of some nuclear facility.
right.
The nuclear facility is still has the decommissioning process has still not been completed.
Oh my.
Has still not been completed, and he takes credit for decommissioning some nuclear facility that is still the people. I'm still decommissioning it.
Yeah. No,
So
no, you've done a detailed comparison of the EPA permit issued under Adams' tenure versus his successor. Talk to us about what are some of the key differences and how do they impact Guyana's environmental oversight?
yeah, so before I get into that, permit me to jab him a little bit, right?
Go
In
ahead. Go
his letter, I want to point out something
ahead.
in his letter that he wrote in the Stabrook News, responding to the vice president. This letter was published on January 23rd, 2025, in Stabrook News, with the
Mm,
caption, I present a snapshot of my hard earned ascendancy and tenure at the highest level of the US government. So the entire letter was basically, as you correctly put it out, his resume, right? His CV. But what I want to point out in his letter, and I'm quoting in his letter, he says, I own a PhD, two MSCs, and a BS in environmental petroleum. Emphasis on the word I own. Now, what do you mean you own a PhD? People don't own PhD, you have to earn it.
mm.
So if you're saying you own a PhD, did you buy a PhD?
Oh my goodness. Trouble.
His
Trouble.
word, right? His word, not mine. I know people got to earn their credentials. He owned his own. So it's suggesting to me you buy it on the market. You didn't earn it.
Trouble. I
You
know
didn't
this
work for
border
it.
established.
I
I
just
know
wanted to
this
point
border
that out.
established.
But
No,
coming,
I was asking you the comparison
yeah,
between
yeah,
Adam's
let's
permit
get
and
right. So
his
let me
successor. What are some of the key
let's
differences?
get down to serious business now. I had written a letter which was published in the Guyana Times on the 15th of January of this year. I sent
Mm,
it a link, so maybe you could pull it up. If you could pull it up for the viewers to make reference. But when you look at what I've done here, right, and this is not guesswork. Anybody could go and verify this stuff. So
mm,
the permit that he signed is uploaded on the EPA website,
right,
right? And so you could go and look at that permit under his hand, and you could go and look at another permit signed by his successor. And
right,
these are the items that were missing from his permit. So the current EPA, under the leadership of the current EPA, which is Kemraj Parsram,
right,
EPA permit are immensely, it's a vast difference. There's a vast difference in terms of improvement. It's superior, very superior in terms of improvements, in terms of strengthening compared to the weak permit that he had. And I'll just go through a few. Under the section that speaks to general, there's about one, two, three clauses in the first section of the EPA permit. There are three additional clauses that were inserted in the new EPA permits that were not in his. That's in the
right,
first section. You go down in another section on the EPA permit, there's a section on air quality management. There is one, two, three, four, five, six, seven clauses under that section in the EPA permit that were not contained in his permit.
right,
That's two, right? That's two subsections. A third subsection in the EPA permit that speaks to hazardous and non-hazardous waste management. There is one, two, three, another three clauses. So add as I speak and I call in numbers. That's another three plus another three clauses not in there. Then there is another section called well blowout prevention.
Mm.
Two clauses that were inserted in the new permits that were not in his permit. Then there is another section called Oil Spills Emergency Plan. There is one, two, three, another three clauses inserted in the new permits that were not in his permit. Then
Mm.
under the section Employees and Personal Safety, there is a new clause inserted here that was not in his permit. I want you to keep track of the numbers. Count for me, right?
You just start to for kind of counting. You
But the viewers gonna count, right? They could go back and count, but
right, right.
just just making the point. Another there other than that, you have some new sections. Those were existing sections that I referenced where
Mm.
you had additional clauses inserted to strengthen the new permits. On
Right.
top of that, you had completely new clauses that were inserted that was never there before. For example, there was there is a section on chemical handling and management clauses 6.1, 6.12, a section on marine ecosystems and management, a section on production operations and safety, a section
Mm.
on emergency shutdown system, a section on gas detection system, a section on fire detection system, a section on fire water system. So that's a total of one, two, three, four, five, six, seven new sections altogether, subsections altogether that were inserted in the new permits that each of them have about three to four clauses under them.
Mm.
That's how comprehensively these permits were improved. The point is not to go on and to bore the audience. The point is, if you go down to the bottom, in his permit that he claims that he had this thing in there about unlimited guarantee, it's never there. It was never there, and people could go and verify this stuff. Now, I want to invite the viewers to take some time, look at the letter that I've written, go and check it for yourself, go to the source document, and what you would find is for a man who claims to have all this fancy curriculum vitae at the US Department of Energy, when he came here, where was this 40 years of superior experience and superior qualification at none other than the US Department of Energy? How come you had such an embarrassingly inferior environmental permit? You are
Mm.
coming with 40 years. This
Yeah.
is supposed to be your permit. I would have expected to see the one that he signed coming from the locals, his successor now that he criticizes a lot. But the fact is not in his favor. The fact is to the contrary, in the sense that his successor, who does not have all the fancy experience well, I don't know the guy's qualifications, so I can't speak to his qualification, but he's clearly not a quack.
Mm.
He's
Indeed.
he's clearly not a quack because if this guy was not exposed to the U.S. Department of Energy, and if he didn't have 40 years at that level, and his thing is far more superior than yours, then you're a quack.
Because we
All that
said 40 years.
nothing. It means nothing. You're a quack.
Yeah.
So you could write how much you want about your CV. You could embellish it how much you want. You could get offended how much you want. Right? The fact remains the fact. Cordell, I think I just had blackout there, boy.
Guys, sorry about this. GPL has reared its ugly head. We'd have to. We're hoping that lights come on before 8, and we'd be able to continue the program. But yeah, we're having some GPL technical difficulties. What is going on? Trouble. But yeah, so if we do get, jeez, I can't even see in here. Let me see if I could get outside. So guys, if we do get electricity before 8, we'll continue the program. If not, we will most likely continue the program tomorrow, and then we'll continue with the regular schedule Wednesday airing. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I do apologize for this. You know, our power situation is work in progress, and this is one of the reasons why this gas to energy project is so important. And I'm glad that with budget 2025, we'll see the completion of this project and many other similar ones that will only enhance the life of Guyanese. So are you leaving y'all in the dark? TPL embarrassing. Ow, ow, shit. Jesus. Oh. Anyway, guys, y'all take care. And as I usually say before I go, it's all about peace.